Здравствуйте. Hello and welcome to Russian language class. Let's have a quick recap of the topics we learnt in the previous lesson. If you remember, we had discussed about the prepositions which are used along with the nouns in the genitive case to convey several meanings. The first set of prepositions is u, which means by or near, возле, it also means near or nearby or by, okala, which is near, and vakrug, which is around. So, these prepositions are used to denote the location of a noun, and they are used with the genitive case of nouns. The second set of prepositions are is, s, and the. These prepositions are used to denote movement from or to a place. Is and s, these two prepositions are used to answer the question atkuda. Is corresponds to the preposition were in the prepositional case, and s corresponds to the preposition na. So, whenever you use were with a noun in the prepositional case, the same noun will take is when answering or while answering the question atkuda. Similarly, if a noun takes were, na in the prepositional case, the same noun will take sa while answering the question atkuda, and the denotes a movement up to a certain point or up to a certain place. For example, мы едем до вокзала, we are going to the station or up to the station. The and после, as you can see, the is here also and the is here also. So, here the means movement up to a point, and here the means the time. So, these two prepositions have temporal meanings. So, the means before or until, and here после means after. So, these two are antonyms to each other. So, the lecție is before the lecture and после lecție is after the lecture. So, this is about the prepositions. Now, we will discuss about the topics that we are going to learn today. In this lesson, we will discuss about the plural nouns in the genitive case. So, how do plural nouns decline in the genitive case? The declension of plural nouns. So, I have drawn a table here. As you can see, student, which has a hard ending. How do we decline this noun in the genitive case plural? Student, studentov. So, we add o and v at the end to get its genitive plural form. Student, studentov. This was with the hard ending noun, masculine noun. The second one is giroi. Giroi ends with a e kratke. So, what happens when we come across a noun with e kratke ending? We replace e kratke with ye and v. Giroev, giroev. The third noun I have written here is vrach. Vrach ends with a consonant here, but there is a rule that whenever we come across a noun with either ch, sh, sh or zh at the end, we add yei to get its genitive plural form. So, vrach, vrachyei. So, these are the rules that determine the form of the noun in the genitive plural. Apart from these regular nouns, there are certain nouns which have irregular plurals in the nominative, if you remember. For example, drug, which is nominative singular. What is the nominative plural of drug? It is druzia, druzia. And brat, what is the nominative plural? Bratya. So, these two nouns have irregular plural. So, what happens is whenever there is a noun with nominative irregular plural, it will have irregular plural in the genitive case also. So, druzia, druziei, brat, bratia, nominative plural, and bratiev. So, druk, druziei, brat, bratiev. One more important thing here to note is the ending of a noun in the genitive plural also depends stress of the plural nominative case. For example, druk, druzia. So, druzia, ya is stressed, which is the ending. If the ending is stressed, we do not write a soft sign here. So, druk, druzia, druziei. Brat, bratia. So, in bratia, as you can see that bratia, the first syllable is stressed, not the ending. So, if the ending is not stressed, we write soft sign. So, bratiev has the soft sign and then yev, which is the ending. So, this is how we form the genitive plural form of nouns. So, let us look at some of the examples. We have already discussed that with the word skolka, we use genitive plural. So, skolka studentov vaše grupe. Skolka studentov vaše grupe. How many students are there in your group? So, whenever we answer this question, we have to use a cardinal number, and while discussing the cardinal numbers in the previous lesson, we have discussed that with the cardinal number 1, we use nominative singular. With the cardinal number 2, 3, 4, we use genitive singular, and with the cardinal number ending in 5 onwards and 0, we use genitive plural. So, if you have to say that there are 15 students in our group, how will you say? В нашей группе 15 студентов. В нашей группе 15 студентов. In our group, there are 15 students. So, with 15, we have to use the genitive plural of the noun. So, 15 студентов. Next question. Сколько друзей у вас в Москве? Сколько друзей у вас в Москве? So, how many friends are there, or how many friends do you have in Moscow? So, again, either you can use a cardinal number, or you can use the words mnoga, mala, neskalka, and with all these words we use the genitive plural. So, в Москве у меня много друзей. В Москве у меня много друзей. So, there are many friends I have in Moscow. So, as you can see, друг, друзей, and student, studentov. So, if a noun ends with a hard consonant, we add of. If a noun ends with e kratke, we replace e kratke with yev. If a noun ends with either ch, sh, and zh, we use ye to make its genitive plural. So, now we will look at the feminine nouns and how do we make the genitive plural of feminine nouns. Now, let us discuss the declension of plural feminine nouns in the genitive case. So, how do plural feminine nouns decline in the genitive case? So, let us first discuss the changes that we do to get the plural nouns in the genitive case of feminine nouns. The first noun I have written here is komnata. Komnata has a ending. So, whenever there is a noun which has a ending, how do we make plural of that particular noun in the genitive case? We just drop the ending. So, when you drop the ending in this word, what you will get? You will get komnat. So, komnat is the genitive case form of the noun komnata in plural. The next noun is chitraj. Chitraj is notebook. So, it ends with a soft sign. So, whenever you have a noun, feminine noun with a soft sign ending, what do? We just drop the soft sign and add ye and e kratke. So, what do we get? Chitraji, chitraj and ye, chitraji. The next ending that we are going to discuss is iya ending. For example, auditoria, auditoria, auditorium. So whenever you have a noun, feminine noun with ia ending, what do? We replace ya with e kratke. So auditoria, auditori with e kratke. So now there I have written two nouns with a ending, and we have discussed that whenever you come across a noun with a ending, what do? We just drop the ending to get its genitive plural form. Like we have got komnat from komnata. But here when you drop the ending a, what do you get? Jevushk. So here there is a consonant cluster at the end after dropping the ending. Here studyantk, again there is a cluster of consonants at the end. So whenever we get a cluster of consonants at the end after dropping the ending, we add ye and o between the last and the penultimate consonant to get its genitive plural. So here in Dzievushka we drop the ending first and then we add ye between the last, which is k, and the penultimate consonant, which is sh, to get its genitive plural form. So what do we get? Dzievushek, Dzievushek. Similarly, here we will add o between the last, which is k, and the penultimate consonant, which is t, to get its genitive plural. So studyantka, genitive plural will be studyantak. So these rules you have to keep in mind while declining the feminine nouns in plural in the genitive case. So let us look at some of the examples. Skolka chitraji lishit na stalye. Skolka chitraji lishit na stalye. How many notebooks are lying on the table? So skolka, after skolka we are supposed to use the genitive plural. That is why chitraj has been chitraji. Dvinatsa chitraji. So there are 12 notebooks lying on the table. Or nastalye lishit dvinatsa chitraji. The next example is Viznajte skolka studentak na našem fakultete. Viznajte skolka studentak na našem fakultete. Do you know how many girl students are there in our department? So again, after skolka we are supposed to use the genitive plural of the noun. That is why we have used studentak, which is the genitive plural of studentka. Da, я знаю, сколько студенток на нашем факультете. На нашем факультете 25 студенток. So after the cardinal number 25 or 25, we have to use the genitive plural form of the noun. So that is how we have answered. Да, я знаю, сколько студенток на нашем факультете. На нашем факультете 25 студенток. Next example. Вы знаете, сколько аудиторий на этом этаже? Вы знаете, сколько аудиторий на этом этаже? So do you know how many halls are there on this floor? Etash, you know, this is floor. How many auditoriums or halls are there on this floor? Auditoria, when we decline this noun in the genitive plural, it becomes auditori with e kratke ending. So how do we answer this question? Da, я знаю, сколько аудиторий на этом этаже. Да, на этом этаже 5 auditori. There are 5 auditorium or halls on this floor. So this is how we decline the feminine nouns, feminine plural nouns in the genitive case, or feminine nouns in genitive plural. So now we will look at the neuter gender nouns in the genitive plural. Now we will look at the neuter gender nouns in the genitive plural. So, how do neuter gender nouns decline in the genitive plural? So, let us look at the rules first. The first noun I have written, neuter gender noun, is miesta. What is miesta? Miesta is place. So, how do we decline this noun in the genitive plural? We just drop the ending as we have done with the feminine gender nouns. So, what do we get after dropping this ending? We get miest. So, the genitive plural form of miesta is miest. So, whenever you have a noun with o ending, you have to drop the ending to get its neuter gender noun in genitive plural. The next ending is the soft vowel ye. So, if a neuter gender noun ends with a soft vowel ye, how do we get its genitive plural form? We just add e kratke at the end. So, pole, which means field, pole, polye. So, basically what we are doing? We are adding e kratke at the end. The next ending is ea ending. For example, zdanye, zadanye, pridlashenie, uprashnenie, and so on. So, how do we decline the nouns with ea ending in the genitive plural? We replace the ending ye with e kratke. So, zdanye genitive plural will be zdani with e kratke ending. Similarly, uprashnenie would be uprashneni again with e kratke ending. Now, we have discussed that any neuter gender noun with o ending in genitive plural, it has to drop the ending. We have written here two nouns with o ending. The first one is akno, which means window, and the second one is pismo. Pismo is letter. So, when we drop the ending which is o in both these nouns, what do we get? Okn and pism. If you look at it, you will find that again we have a cluster of consonants or consonant cluster at the end. Here also there is a consonant cluster, s and m together, here k and n together. So, in these cases what do? We add o between the last and the penultimate consonant to get its genitive plural form. So, what do we get after adding o between n and k? Okan. So, okan will be the genitive plural form of akno. Similarly, when we add ye between m and s here, what do we get? Pisim. Pisim. In pisim, one more thing you have to do is you have to drop the soft sign. Pisim. So, whenever after dropping the ending, if we get a cluster of consonants, we use either o or ye to get its genitive plural form. So, akno, okan, pismo, pisim. Now, let us look at some examples. Skolka slof vaitam pridlasheni. Slof is the genitive plural form of slova. Slova ends with o, and we have discussed whenever a noun ends with o, how do we form its genitive plural? We drop the ending. So, in slova, if you drop the ending which is o, we get slof. Skolka slof vaitam pridlasheni. How many words are there in this sentence? Vaitam pridlasheni, vosim slof. There are 8 words in this sentence. So, after 8 you have to use genitive plural, and after skolka again we have to use genitive plural. So, this is how we decline the nouns in the genitive plural. I hope you must have understood the rules as well as you must have observed their use in the sentences. So, now we will move on to our next topic. The next topic we have for today is the verbs, the perfective aspects of the verbs with the suffix nu. So, there are certain perfective verbs which take nu suffix in order to be used as perfective aspect of the verb. For example, we have already discussed about the verb ad-dikhaj. Ad-dikhaj is to take rest. This is imperfective aspect. Ad-dikhaj is the imperfective aspect, and what is the perfective aspect? Adakhnut. Adakhnut. So, here as you can see, nu is the suffix which has been used to make its perfective aspect. Ad-dikhaj, adakhnut. Similarly, vazvrashat or vazvrashatsya or virnut or virnutsa. Vazvrashat is to return, virnut is to return. Vazvrashat and virnut, they take the direct objects. So, they are transitive verbs, but if you add syat to them, they become intransitive or reflexive verb. Vazvrashatsa means to return, and virnutsa again to return. Again here as you can see, we have used nu suffix to make its perfective. Vazvrashat, virnut. The third verb ulibatsa. Ulibatsa is to smile. And what is the perfective aspect of ulibatsa? Ulibnutsa. Ulibnutsa. Ulibnutsa again has the suffix nu. Vinimat. Vinimat and vinut. Vinimat is to take out something. Vinimat, vinut, and it has again the suffix nu. So, these are the imperfective aspects, and these are perfective aspects of the same verb. Ad-dikhaj, vazvrashatsa, ulibatsa, vinimat. These are imperfective aspects or nisavarshinnivit, and adakhnut, virnutsa, ulibnutsa and vinut, they are savarshinnivit or perfective aspects. So, now the question comes, how do we conjugate the perfective aspects of the verbs with the suffix nu? So, for this purpose I have written the conjugation of adakhnut, and rest of the verbs will have the similar conjugations. So, how do we conjugate adakhnut? Ya adakhnu, and the stress is on u, which is the ending. Ya adakhnu, ti adakhniyosh, o nana adakhnyot, mi adakhnyom, vi adakhniyote, ani adakhnut. Let us repeat it once again. Ya adakhnu, ti adakhniyosh, o nana adakhnyot, mi adakhnyom, vi adakhniyote, ani adakhnut. So, all the verbs of perfective aspect with suffix nu will have the similar conjugations. Let us come to the past tense of the verb adakhnut. How do we make the past tense forms? We just remove the ending, which is the ends of sign, and add la, la, lo and li. So, what do we get after removing the ends of sign and adding la? Adakhnul, adakhnula, adakhnula with o ending, and adakhnuli. So, these are the past tense forms of the verb adakhnut. So, what about the imperative forms? We have also discussed about the imperative forms. So, how do we make imperative forms? Adakhnut, adakhnut, adakhni. Adakhni is the informal, and adakhnite, adakhnite is the formal. So, we are adding e and ite at the end to get its imperative forms. So, this is about the perfective aspects of the verbs with the suffix nu. So, I hope you must have understood the conjugation of the verbs with the suffix nu, and how do we make the past tense and how do we make the imperative forms. So, now we will discuss about our next topic. We already know how do we say numbers in Russian from 0 to 100. So, in this lesson we will discuss about the numbers from 200 onwards. How do we say 200, 300, 400 and so on. So, I have written the numbers first and their Russian counterpart. This is 200, 200 in Russian is 200, 200, 300, 300, 300, 400, 400, 400. The stress is on E, 400. 500 is 500, 500, 500. The stress is on O here. 600 is 600, 600. 700 700, 700. 800 800, 800. 900 is 900, 900. And 1000 is 1000, 1000. If you look at the numbers from 500 to 900, you will find this is 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9 plus 100. So, if you know the numbers from 5 to 8 or 9, it becomes very easy to remember about 500 to 800 or 900. 1000 is different, is 1000. Now comes 1 million. So, how do we say million in Russian? Million, million. So, we basically follow the same system of counting as the Europeans do. And after million, what comes? Billion. So, how do we say billion in Russian? It has two variants. One is milliard and the other one is billion, milliard or billion. So, now one more important thing, like all the other numbers, if you have to use 1000, million or billion, you have to change their forms. So, if the number ends with 1, we will use the nominative case forms of 1000, million and billion. So, they will remain the same. If the number ends with 2, 3, 4, we will use 1000. So, 1000 becomes 1000, milliona, billiona. If the number ends with 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 0, we use 1000, 1000, which is the genitive plural form of 1000. Millionov, again genitive plural form of million, or billionov, the genitive plural of billion. In Russian, we do not say 1 lakh. So, how will you denote or how will you say 1 lakh in Russian? It will be 100,000. How do you say 100,000 in Russian? 100,000. Why 1000? Because if a number ends with 0, we use 1000. So, this is all we have for today's lesson. So, what did we learn today? We learnt the numbers, cardinal numbers, we learned the suffixes nu in the perfective verbs, and we also learnt the plural nouns in the genitive case. So, that is all for today. We will meet in the next class. Till then, spasiba, do svidaniya.